Anybody in here?
All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm here with my good friend Josh. He's just visiting me right now. He does 50 to 60K in sales per month. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. Josiah's on his way in. But yeah, just hanging out. Josh, how are sales for you this month?
Sales have been good. Increased spend, increased sales. Input output. It's if your sales aren't where you want them to be, you need to start spending more money. That's just a fact.
Right. We got Paul Lipsky in the chat. I'm ready for the show. Had the pleasure of meeting Paul yesterday. The Chief, always great content from these two guys. Appreciate you, Steve. Yeah, and we literally have Rake and Profit playing with my cat. He's literally like playing with a string with my cat in the background. He's coming soon. He's just having too much fun playing with the cat. That is actually, I think Steve has been the fastest person to actually get friendly with my cat out of all the strangers over to my house. Totally Amazon content. But we got
Echo flips.
He loves cats. Echo flips. We got a live stream again as well. Always fun live streaming with him. Echo, how are sales recently? I feel like you've been pushing pretty hard as well with this. It's just absolutely gorgeous outside. It's nice to just relax.
Mm-hmm. Good weather here in Denver.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's went for a hike this morning. It was like 3 miles or so, good hour and a half. Nice to get outside. Yeah.
Any questions in here?
Just hit 65K 30 day.
Beautiful.
Yes. Congrats, man.
Is Echo? What's your business model? Are you doing OA wholesale?
What all does he do? Echo actually kind of has I won't go too much into detail, but from what I've talked to him with, it seems like it's a lot of really good with the variation listings and like getting on the stuff that gets like a sale or two a month, but he can stay in stock on it and make some good profit.
I see.
We got Steve in the house coming to join
us.
Done playing with my cat.
Oh, your cat is loving me. It's licking me now.
It's licking me.
Licking me.
Oh my god.
You guys really got good rapport. I've been like 3 days and she still runs away from me.
Echo Flips is saying I do all away right now, mainly shoes. I feel like you and Josh could talk about IND4. How have you been doing with IND4 Echo?
I'm curious to hear about that. I just got a reimbursement from them last night on a smaller order. I've been noticing that the smaller boxes full of shoes that get 0 received, they will reimburse you. It just takes a really long time, which is unfortunate.
Paul's also in the house as well.
Oh, what's up, Paul?
Paul's hanging out. He's like, is that Rake and Profit in the background? Like, yeah, connecting with my cat better than anyone else.
I love cats.
Better than Josh. Josh is pretty good.
I thought so. Good performance.
Oh yeah. Also, an Echo. Echo does merch fulfill. He merch fulfills everything,
100%.
Which is
nice.
Kind of impressive, honestly. That he's doing that many numbers.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Is he doing it all himself, or does he have help?
Yeah. Do you have any help, Cody? His 30 day is 65K though, so he's doing volume.
I'm curious. There's another cat right there.
There's 2 of them that are black and white.
Yeah.
Over there.
I don't think they'll see on the camera.
I'm curious though, because I was considering doing merchant fulfilled flips, but my good friend 𝗠liche𝗰𝗶𝗹, he's a 7-figure seller. He said you got to be really careful because I believe there's merchant fulfilled metrics and then FBA metrics as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's correct or not. It's been so long since I merchant fulfilled, but I don't want to make a mistake with, forgetting to ship an order or something, and then it could take your whole account down, which my main business is FBA. So I'm curious people's thoughts on that.
Yeah. I know for me, like, I feel like merch fulfilled is either like you go really hard with it and your account metrics are going to be fine because the volume of it works, or it's just like, or you just shouldn't. Oh yeah, here's Josiah. Josiah made it. Let's get Josiah to the stream. What up, Josiah? Good to see you.
How's it going, guys?
Good to see you.
What's up?
Not too bad.
We got Paul in the chat saying, "Hey, Steve, my dog misses you already."
Man, all the animals love me on this trip.
I guess so.
I guess.
All the people hate me though. Come on, buddy. Come here. You want to play?
There's a cat way in the background there too. What have you been up to, Josiah?
Staying busy with some car maintenance for Turo stuff. Got a flat tire that's been a pain in the butt to fix. But
You do all your own maintenance, Josiah, on your vehicles?
no, I'm a terrible mechanic. I tried that once. It's like when you try to do that home project and you're like, oh, it's real simple. I'll just, patch a hole in the wall, and it takes you 7 trips to Lowe's. I'm kind of the same, just 7 trips to AutoZone, and 3 weeks later the car's fixed. Not worth it.
I'm curious on the Turo side of things. How do you and your wife kind of divvy it up as far as like deliveries go? Because I was looking into it a little while ago. It just seemed like it'd be difficult if you didn't have another person to organize rides and stuff with. I'm wondering how you get around that.
Sure, yeah, that definitely is a challenge, the shuttling vehicles back and forth. Over the summer, we were so busy that we just left the vehicles at a airport lot.
Okay.
And we have a guy who works for us and does all the cleaning and turnovers. So we didn't have to go over there ourselves to check on them. Things are a lot slower now. So the cars are sitting for like 5 days or a week between rentals. So we shuttle them back and forth. And a couple times I've done an Uber. But yeah, it really is helpful to have a second person to be able to shuttle you. That's one of the most time consuming things that we're doing right now. Is shuttling, trying to find a better solution for the future. But
I had a friend of mine who he runs a successful, I don't think it's Turo, it's a different company. And I guess there's a device inside of the vehicle and it unlocks it, locks it. I don't know if that's a specific platform that does that or that's just a separate device. Does that ring a bell?
yeah, that might be GetAround, I think, does that.
Yes, and he wanted to mentor me and help me out. It was a guy who's been following me for a long time, but they didn't really have anything in my area yet. Any thoughts on that platform?
I don't know too much about GetAround specifically. Look up Aubrey Janik on YouTube. I can send you her link later. She does Turo primarily, and she's for I think the better part of a year put one vehicle on GetAround and has given her like honest feedback on that platform. So I don't know exactly what she thinks of it. I think in general there's more demand on Turo, and I do lock boxes on mine. Just put a lockbox on the car window, or there is for newer vehicles, Turo has a little remote unlock thing as well called Turo Go.
I'm curious how much time he spends.
Yeah. You're saying that you were saying that the most time consuming thing is mostly just the shuttling, right?
Yeah, I mean, October's been slow for us. I've been doing a lot of maintenance, like putting winter tires on or like doing oil changes. That kind of sucks up more time than usual. But like with somebody cleaning for us, we got 5 vehicles. I think average week over the busy summer, we were doing maybe 10 hours of work combined between my wife and I. So, yeah, pretty good considering some of the numbers we did.
How many vehicles do you have?
5.
5?
5, yeah.
Oh, wow. And what's the average income you would typically take home per car? You don't have to say your exact number, but what's something someone could expect?
Like over the course of a year?
Or monthly, yeah, or averaged out over a year. Like, say, I picked up 5 cars. What can I expect? Obviously, there's a learning curve.
Yeah. Every location's going to be a little different price-wise. We get some really good rates here in the summer, and then we have more average rates and a lot slower in the winter. So it might kind of average out to be similar to other parts of the U.S. because of that slow winter.
Yeah.
But I think in general, if you buy a more depreciated vehicle. I look for like 10-year-old vehicles. So a little cheaper, a little more depreciated, and you can still get really good rental rates on them. I think 12 to 16 months to recoup that investment is kind of the goal I'm looking at right now. And we've had one vehicle for 13 months. That's our oldest one. And we're pretty close to recouping that 19 grand we spent on it.
Oh,
That's
wow.
one car, yeah.
Oh, so you're spending 19 grand per car.
That's one of our middle ones, yeah.
One of the middle ones. So that's okay.
For us, there's a high demand for the 8-seat SUVs. So that's kind of my target. And those are naturally going to be more expensive. So I have 2 Toyota Sequoias, and those I think have been our best performers because there's a need for that in our market, but those are pricier.
Wow, that's not bad at all. 12 to 16 months to recoup $19,000. So that means that thing's almost netting like a little, what, $1,200 a month or something.
Yeah, I think we had some months over the summer where it did like $3 grand.
That's wild.
Wow.
And that's 5 cars. Yeah, that's sick. We got Philip in the chat saying, question, what are the biggest risks with the eBay to Amazon model? So, Steve, what are your thoughts on that?
There's no risk. It's the easiest way to $1 million in
Yeah.
5 minutes now.
That's
I only said that because after watching the IP video that you guys created, I thought we were still doing everything opposite day. But I think everybody would agree that the biggest risk is not having those invoices. So if you're selling more like Josh, the traditional OA route, or doing wholesale, if Amazon wants you to prove authenticity or maybe even prove that you're getting it from a supplier for one reason or another, I think that's everyone's biggest fear. But the more I network with people like Seth and Josiah, the less I actually worry about it, because I realize that our accounts, especially if you have an aged account, it's more, what's the word? Not durable. What is it? It's more thick. Why did he looked in my eyes? It's thick.
They've been hanging out.
Yeah, that thick. Yeah, that's the word. That's I don't know how to
That's
say it.
retention.
Resilient would be the word.
Thick and resilient and juicy.
Yeah, oh my word.
Seth's next video: how to thicken your Amazon account.
No,
I want to know.
I would have said girth, but we'll go with thick.
No.
Yeah, demonetization right there.
What
There you
was that about
go. Philip said resilient.
Yeah, there's
Risk.
Yeah, I have the older your account gets, the girthier that account gets. It just
The
I'm
more-
not monetized anyway.
the
Yeah.
more units you're doing too really has a big effect on it. I do a lot more units than Seth, but over the course of the last
Trash me.
12 months, he's done a lot more in sales, and our account health metrics are very, very, very different.
The units is a big
Units
deal.
is definitely a
Yeah.
big deal, and account health age is a massive factor. But I mean, as far as I'm gonna probably be moving into the eBay to Amazon model, and I think it's just not buying too deep on certain things, and going into it with the mindset of what's the max loss I'm gonna have on this, and that'll mitigate itself with high ROI over time, I think. So as far as the account health issues are really the only thing that would concern me, and I don't see that being much of a concern if you're a somewhat seasoned seller.
You just have to actually understand what your account can take and
Exactly.
know the risks that you're taking. Because when you're starting, even maybe for the first year or something, you might not even know the risks that you're taking.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of it. That's a big deal to actually understand what's going on. What are your thoughts, Josiah?
I agree with everything you said there. I think you also need to understand eBay decently. And I think Steve mentioned this recently in a live or something. There's some sketchy sellers on eBay.
Yeah.
And there's some scammers. And honestly, that's why some people go and shop on Amazon instead of eBay. So we're kind of being the middleman and weeding out the garbage eBay sellers. and you gotta understand what you're looking at. And especially for Seth and I, there's a little bit higher risk because we send our stuff to prep centers. We never see it ourselves.
Right.
And there's ways to do fake tracking numbers, and I've recently been thinking about perhaps some of the stuff that I think my prep center has lost or stolen from me, I actually got scammed by the eBay seller.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, never
There's
thought that.
there's several variables there, and I will never know the truth. I just know that stuff disappeared somewhere.
Does that ever happen to you where like there's a tracking number that like says it's delivered and it never came to your house?
To be
Like,
honest,
it's a small percentage.
for any of the eBay sellers that I end up buying from, because I get messages all the time, Steve, I can't believe you bought from my store, and I'm like, my VA did, but thank you.
I have no idea.
Yeah. We have a system with my team where everything we buy, they actually go in and they put the tracking orders in just to make sure it says delivered. But I haven't taken that step to figure out how to actually confirm it, because we have 300 packages coming in a week right now that, for us to, I guess if we wanted to, we could, I guess, somehow confirm it in a spreadsheet, but it would add that much more time to the prepping and all of that, if someone's going to scam me and it's going to be 0.001%, then so be it. Good luck. I just don't think it's worth the time,
I'm curious if each of you have kind of metrics that you look at around sellers, whether that be, I won't take something under 95% positive, they have to have this many reviews, that kind of thing.
I do.
Yeah.
Just as a general rule, 95% or better positive feedback, and 25, at least 25 reviews or more. I just honestly kind of made up that number, Josh.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? Because I've been selling on eBay for a long time. If it's less than 95, honestly, if it's less than like 98%, you're probably doing something wrong, because it's so easy on eBay to.
Yeah.
But it's hard to like put a number on that, because like on one hand you want to put a feedback requirement, but then like 25 feedback is like you can get that with like 40 sales. It's still like
buying too. When you buy it, adds to your
yeah. Like
feedback
I have
as
so
well.
much feedback on my eBay account just from buying, and like that doesn't mean that I ship stuff well.
Interesting.
Like I'm still
I really do, not to cut you off, but I really do think it depends on your niche, because I'm in CDs, books, DVDs. There's so many opportunities. For you, it might, maybe you'd want to lower it a little bit, just because especially you're making so much more profit per item than me, because you're going after the higher
ASP stuff,
that it might be worth it for you to kind of stretch it out or be a little more dynamic with that rule.
Yeah. Josiah, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any criteria for eBay sellers that you purchase from?
Yeah, I prefer the guys with thousands in their feedback numbers, and those are generally kind of the liquidator types that can get bulker quantities for me to purchase.
Yeah.
If I find, like Steve, you said 25, I usually stay away from those guys. But if I see an opportunity that looks pretty good and they're like 25 feedback, I'll go take a look at their store, see what else they're selling, kind of get a feel for what their general business is. I'll look at their feedback, and then sometimes if I'm get a warm and fuzzy after that, I'll go ahead and purchase it. Or sometimes if everything in their store is stock images and they have like one or two like iffy feedbacks, I'm like, this might be a sketchy drop ship kind of scam guy, or something along those lines, where they're gonna send me a fake tracking number, or they're gonna ship something completely different that's maybe roughly the weight of what I tried to purchase. So yeah, I usually go for the hundreds to thousands.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it's like you're targeting big eBay stores that like they have like a crew with them and they want to do good service. Yeah.
And do you find that when you're targeting those big stores too, that you tend to find multiple very profitable items from that specific seller, or is that kind of change between them?
Yeah, and that's kind of the primary means of our business model right now. We capture those stores and we continually search them over and over again, and buying up the new stuff that they post. And sometimes they get, I guess you could say, replens of the same stuff over and over again. I just keep buying it from them until wherever they're getting it from runs out of supply. So yeah, that does pretty good for us.
Have you ever had any of them like reach out to you and offer you any kind of incentives to buy more or anything like that?
Yeah. A lot of them, if they have a bulk quantity, instead of just buying it, I'll message them and say, I had this little script like, hey, would you be opposed to offering me a deal if I buy all 35 that you have? And most of them are like, yeah, absolutely. and I try to get them to make me an offer first,
Smart.
as opposed to me coming out and asking for 10% off. Because sometimes, like, I just got one this morning. I messaged him yesterday. He had, I think, 15 units at $20, which I could make money on, like maybe 40% ROI. I messaged him, and he came back with 25% off. I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. I almost bought him at 20. I almost bought him at $20 each yesterday. So like, just by me messaging and waiting 12 hours, I made an extra, I don't know, 70, $80. So that strategy works pretty well for us.
Hey, let me ask you, 𝗖cie. So on that item, you said you waited a day. Do you find that items like that, they kind of just sit around? Because I mean, I'm big into the media stuff, and a lot of the stuff will sit. Sometimes it's been sitting for 2-3 weeks, and I'm like, this is 60% ROI. I don't know if it's because my category is so deep, but with the type of items you're going after, I know you do a lot of electronics, homes, whatever. Does that stuff move quick, or will it be sitting for, like, would those 20 listings be there in a week from now?
Yeah, actually, my VA found this one for me like 2 weeks ago, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know. And then she posted it on my list again yesterday, and I looked at it again. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this one. And so yeah, it's been sitting there. I don't know when the seller posted it, but it's been there long enough that my VA put it on my list twice.
Jeez.
What do you think like how quickly do you think those are going to sell out? And are you going to send all 20 in at once? I'm assuming that's what you do. You send it all to the prep and then they ship it all in, or do they store half of them for you and then send the other half in?
Yeah, I'm sending them all at once. They're going to move pretty quick. I can look up what the sales rank is right now.
I'd be curious.
It's
in the chat. What's wrong with drop shippers on eBay?
bunch of scammers, Paul.
We got Joe G. Yo, what's up, fellas?
What's up?
What up, Joe G?
Got Philip. Makes sense. Generally on eBay, if it seems too good to be true, it usually is. That's a lesson I'm still learning for sure.
I think that kind of applies to
that's almost everything
as well.
Yeah,
with like Amazon to Amazon or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, you're telling me Amazon automation is not too good to be true? I can't just make 80% passive income per year?
Wait, I'm not going to get that 40 grand back?
Only if you do my specific one.
Oh, okay, so yours.
I've got an affiliate link for you.
Yeah, exactly.
before you
Can you get ungated too for 4K?
Yeah, $2 grand on Gate.
Yeah, I get you ungated in Lego. I get you ungated in Lego for 2K.
Wow. I'll promote that.
This is what happens when we all get together.
Yeah.
Generally, sellers with listings that enable the best offer feature are very open to negotiation. That's true, but there's people also who don't have it up that have had it like listed for several weeks and their store is just like not getting enough sales.
You guys ever have like a listing, say it's for sale for like, I don't know, 50, and maybe you want to pay 45 because it's just a little outside of your ROI, and you make an offer for like 40, gets declined, 43, declined, 45, and then you're like, I'm just going to see how high it'll get declined at like 48. It's like, why do you have the best offer option up?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you teasing me?
𝗖cie, I'm really curious as well what when you're buying, I mean, if you're able to stock for a full restock or stock, I guess, like what amount of days are you going to target for your eBay to Amazon? So like personally for me, like with my OA, I don't really try to buy more than like 30 days worth of stock. I'm curious what your philosophy is around that.
For the beginning of this year, like the first half of the year, I was doing about 30 days. And I found sometimes that backfired a little bit. The price would drop, or another big seller would come on and steal a buy box from me, and I'd be stuck with a bigger quantities sitting there, like my capital tied up in that. So recently, I've been shooting for around 2 weeks of supply, and I've been finding that's hard to keep stuff in stock though. So I'm trying to find the balance. Like I with targeting the 2 weeks, I tend to sell out and miss out on some opportunities there, but my capital is spread a little bit wider. So I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah, you're over more ASINs too, so that's a big deal. Instead of just sitting on stupid scanners that someone comes in and half prices it.
Dude, yeah. I got like 20 of those, man.
Well, I saw you sold a couple more, didn't you?
Did I?
I thought you did. I was looking at your store.
What, you got my Seller Central password or something?
Yeah, I was logged in this morning. I was repricing for you.
And then buying from my storefront to sell on yours.
Yeah. I was just doing a little. I was helping you out. Don't worry about it.
It's called arbitrage, Josiah.
Speaking of that, though, we're actually going to head over to Josiah's channel right now. So his YouTube channel is 𝗠𝗲𝗶𝗹. We're going to head over there and spend some time over there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we will see you over there. Bye, guys.